Marcus Aurelius never went on a Tinder date. He didn't swipe left, double text, or worry about being ghosted. But if you think that means his teachings don't apply to modern dating, think again. After going through a brutal breakup that wrecked me emotionally, I did what most guys don't. I didn't jump into another relationship. I didn't chase distractions. I went inward. I studied Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, for 3 straight years. Not as a hobby, but as a lifeline. What I found changed everything I knew about attraction, emotional power, and the hidden patterns behind modern relationships. This isn't about tricks. This is about timeless psychological laws that the Stoics understood, and how applying them today makes you the rarest kind of man. Calm, centered, respected, and dangerously attractive. Let's dive deep into 10 patterns you must understand if you want to become unshakable in love and life. 1. Emotional validation trap. Most women, through no fault of their own, have been raised to outsource their worth. From childhood, they're taught to look good, be liked, and fit in. Add social media to the mix, and it becomes an addiction. Constant selfies. Do I look fat in this? Getting upset if you don't text back in 5 minutes. What most men do? They become emotional caretakers. They pour all their energy into managing her mood. But the more validation you give, the more she needs. The Stoic shift? You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. When you realize that her emotions are not your responsibility, you become free. You're not cold. You're not distant. You're simply not hooked. You listen. You empathize. But your peace is non-negotiable. That's the man she starts to respect and trust. 2. Hypergamy. Misunderstood. Women only want rich guys. Wrong. What they want is value. And value isn't money. It's perceived potential. She's not attracted to your paycheck. She's drawn to what your life says about you. Do you have drive? Do you have discipline? Do you live with purpose? Can you lead? Seneca said, "True wealth is not found in what you own, but in what you can live without." So while other guys flex cars, followers, and clout, you walk into a room with calm eyes and a quiet mind. You're building a kingdom inside yourself. She feels it. She tests it. But she knows. You're not here to impress. You're here to live fully. And that's what makes you elite. 3. Attention. Manipulation. Today's dating world is flooded with attention games. She posts a provocative pic. Men flood the comments. She mentions another guy flirting, just to see how you'll react. Most men fall for it. They get jealous, start competing, try harder. But not you. Epictetus reminds us, we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our thoughts about them. When you stop reacting emotionally, when you stop giving free attention, when you realize that her validation farming has nothing to do with your worth, you become the man whose attention means something. You don't chase, you select. You don't react, you observe. And because you're unaffected, you become unforgettable. 4. Emotional chaos addiction. Ever notice how some women start fights for no reason? Not because they're toxic, but because they need emotional turbulence to feel alive. This is what I call the chaos test. If you get pulled in, you fail. If you run away, you fail. If you hold your center, you pass. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." That applies here perfectly. She's unconsciously testing. Can you handle emotional pressure? Are you reactive or steady? Will you stay when things aren't pretty? You pass the test not by being emotionless, but by being emotionally anchored. You express yourself, but you never lose yourself. And when she sees that she can throw storms at you and you don't break, that's when attraction becomes trust. 5. The provider versus edge paradox. She says she wants a nice guy, a provider, someone stable. But who is she texting at midnight? The wild, confident, emotionally unavailable guy. Why? Because most providers offer safety without excitement. The Stoic path gives you both. Marcus Aurelius again, confine yourself to the present. When you are content in your own life, building your mission, living for yourself, and not for her approval, you become the rare man who is generous but not a pushover, kind but not desperate, stable but not boring. You don't need her, you choose her. And that's the paradox that melts her resistance. 6. Social proof validation loop. She wants her friends to like you. She wants her Instagram relationship to look perfect. She wants her family to think you're the one. But the more you chase approval from her circle, the less she respects you. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You don't try to win the crowd. You stay true to yourself. And ironically, that authenticity makes you magnetic to everyone else too. 7. Perfectionism paralysis. Some women struggle to make decisions. They overthink. They try to perfect everything. They don't want to fail, so they don't act. Stoicism teaches, take right action without attachment to the outcome. You model this by being decisive, imperfect, real. You don't judge her, you don't rush her, but you show her, through your behavior, that motion beats overthinking, and she slowly begins to mirror that energy. 8. Emotional contagion sensitivity. Many women are empathic. They feel what others feel, deeply. They absorb your anxiety, your mood, your stress. Not because they want to, because they can't help it. That's where your emotional leadership comes in. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be like the rock that waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved." You become that rock. You don't dump your emotions on her. You don't hide them either. You feel them, but you don't get ruled by them. And in that presence, she finds peace. 9. The comparison trap. She sees highlight reels on Instagram. Other girls with better bodies, bigger rings, richer boyfriends. It never ends. You don't fix this with compliments. You fix it with presence. You show her that enough is a mindset. You live content. You praise progress. You celebrate what you have, without needing more. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." And when you live that truth, she starts craving what you have, a grounded, peaceful mind. 10. The future fantasy obsession. She's always thinking ahead. Where is this going? What if you lose interest? What if it doesn't work out? Most men either get pressured by this or lie to avoid it. The Stoic doesn't. He lives in the present. He builds a real connection now. He confides, commits, and connects without needing certainty. You don't promise the future. You show up fully today, and that presence is more attractive than any fantasy. Final thought. So what's the point of all this? Women don't want perfect men. They want centered men. Men who don't chase emotions, but understand them. Men who don't try to control others, but master themselves. Men who are so rooted in purpose and peace that chaos, drama, and insecurity can't shake them. That's what Stoicism builds. And that's what makes you rare. Bonus gift. I've put together a free ebook called The Female Mind Control Handbook. It dives even deeper into these principles, with scripts, psychology, and real-world application. The link's in the description or pinned comment. Grab it now. Use it responsibly. Become the man she respects, desires, and remembers. Not by trying harder, but by becoming unshakable within.